There are several areas of Harford County that really just don't get enough street cred, I feel like. When people talk and think about Harford County, they think about Bel Air. I think about Bel Air. That's totally normal, but there are places in Harford County that you might want to think about if you are making a move to Harford County. We're going to talk about some of these underdogs of Harford County as we go through this topic. My name is Danielle Waldera. I am a local realtor here in Harford County, Maryland. Let's talk about it. When buyers first contact me about moving to Harford County, typically they are most interested in the Bel Air and surrounding areas. I would like to put in a full disclaimer that I am not allowed to tell you where to move or to give you any crime stat information or predator information about these communities. Everything in Maryland is public data. You have to look up the data yourself and be comfortable with it. However, there are a lot of places of Harford County outside of Bel Air. There's a lot of them. And depending on your personal and financial situation, you could be really happy moving to a different area and maybe even get more bang for your buck. So one of the underdogs that I feel like should be getting more attention is Havre de Grace. Totally commuter friendly. It's right off of some major routes for us. That's Route 40 and 95. You can get from Havre de Grace to almost anywhere you need to go locally within about 20 minutes. It's got a ton of shopping. It's got an amazing main street that is so adorable. They do First Fridays on their main streets. They have festivals on their main streets. It's a super cute, eclectic, artsy town, cute coffee shops. I think Havre de Grace is amazing. So they've got some new schools that they're building, some new infrastructure. Havre de Grace is a place that I think people should start looking at, and you might be able to get a little more bang for your buck up there if you're personally, interested in that area, if it works for your life, right? If you can still commute to work, if you're still close to family, if all the things line up and Havre de Grace could work for you, you should keep an open mind to it. Whenever I mention to someone, hey, would you be open to expanding your search? Maybe including Havre de Grace into that search. What they normally say is, oh, that's way too far. It's so far. And I'm like, are you sure it's far? Map it out. Map out an area of Havre de Grace to all these places that you would really want to go to on a daily basis, and tell me how much further it is than the areas that you were looking in before, because it's probably like a 5-minute difference. Havre de Grace does have town tax if you land in town. So if you land in a certain parameter of Havre de Grace, you will have to pay additional town tax. That tax does cover certain things like your trash. But there's certain towns that have additional town tax. Bel Air has it as well. Bel Air, Havre de Grace, and Aberdeen all have a town tax that you will pay additionally to live in those municipals of those areas. Okay, another underdog area that I personally think people just need to open their minds to a little bit more is an area called street. So street is a little bit country. It is a little bit out of the way. It is a little bit far from things off the beaten path. But a lot of my buyers are coming to me looking for land. They want land, they want a homestead, they want the chickens, and their budget is only $600,000, which for this market, honestly, it won't get you a fully updated home on a 3-acre lot. 600 won't do that here. So if you are willing to expand your mindset a little bit and take yourself a little bit off the beaten path and take yourself up into Northern Harford County a little bit more, you can get a lot more bang for your buck in street. For $600,000, I can get you a new construction house in street on over an acre of land, and you can do what you need to do up there. Will it take you 15 minutes to get to the grocery store? Probs. But like, if you're okay with that lifestyle, you can get the house that you want for the money that you want if you can inconvenience yourself a little bit. There's a couple of communities that I think have surprised me as far as value and being still pretty close to things. Churchville, don't sleep on Churchville. Churchville is it's like Bel Air, then Churchville, then Aberdeen, then Havre de Grace. Don't sleep on Churchville because Churchville's like this big, but you can get a little more value there because you are still outside of that Bel Air town limit. But in Churchville, you're like, less than 10 minutes away, less than 5 minutes maybe even away from where all the happenings are in Bel Air. And then you're even closer if you do want to enjoy like the Havre de Grace water lifestyle and their First Fridays and their happenings. You're like 15 minutes away from that. Churchville is I think could be a happy medium for some people. There are a lot of neighborhoods off the beaten path that I wish people would keep an open mind to when looking, that still offer community, that community feel, that you can still get a great value to, that may be adjacent to the areas that you had originally set your mind to. You set your mind that you want to be within Bel Air, within town limits, within, a certain parameter, right? If you expand your parameter a little bit, oftentimes you can get still everything that you want for potentially a better value if you're able to make it work for you personally. So like if your commute still works, if you can still be close to the stores that you go to. Because let me tell you something funny, and I'm the same way. My grocery store is my grocery store, okay? I'm not going to another grocery store. So when I moved a couple of years ago, I still haul my butt back to my grocery store because I know where everything is, and I pre-order, my groceries, and like I know the people that work there, and like we're cool, and that's my system. And like people will not move their systems. They will not move their grocery store. They will still travel back to their grocery store. So like make sure the commute works for you. If you're looking for more land and privacy, there's a lot of places in Harford County that can give that to you. Places such as Jarrettsville, Fallston, Forest Hill. Some places, some parts of Aberdeen actually are quite rural. You can go even farther up north to Street, Whiteford, Pilesville, Norrisville. There's a lot of areas as you push your way up into Northern Harford County where you can get the land that you're looking for, but you do have to recognize that you will sacrifice things, and part of those sacrifices will be time, because it will take you longer to get to where you want to go. So these are really personal conversations that you need to have between you and your people in your life and say, okay, if we can get everything we want for the price that we want, but it's going to take us 30 minutes to drop the kids off at grandma's house every day for daycare, is that a lifestyle that we want to live, or is it worth paying more not to have to live that lifestyle? That's a super personal decision. As Bel Air saturates, as more people come to Bel Air because it has become a popular destination to live for valid reason, as it saturates, you will see also some people making an exit. So people maybe 10 to 15 years ago who moved to Bel Air, it looked a lot different then. So those people who move to a more rural area are going to start to experience a more urban Bel Air, a more walkable Bel Air, a Bel Air that feels a little more like city living. And some people love that. Some people don't love that. So the people who don't love that, you're going to see keep pushing north up into those more rural areas. So the more saturated it gets in Bel Air, you will also see more people exiting. I honestly have so many client stories about people who come to me, like I said, with their list, right? And their list includes their budget and their location and everything that they want, and they're very strict about it. It doesn't take long, I think, to break down that list a little bit and break them into reality a little bit. Once we start going out, we can keep a more open mind. We can schedule a tour in all of these places on the same day, right? We can schedule a house in Bel Air, a house in Churchville, a house in Aberdeen, and a house in Havre de Grace. And we can take you to all of those places in one day so that you can see and feel the difference in your commute as you drive further out. You can see and feel the difference in value. And I think it's important. It's important to just allow yourself that grace to experience all those areas for yourself and make the best decision for you and your family and your people that are involved in your life. And you're not going to be able to make that decision if you don't explore those options. So this is like exploratory surgery. We're just exploring where you might want to be. And if you explore these other areas and you're like, geez, this happens a lot too. I love that house. I love the price. I love the house, but I just can't make this drive. And it's like, cool. Now you know. Now you know that you're not capable of making this drive every day. So it's off the list. We bump back, you know? And you don't know what you don't know until you experience it. So let's go out there and experience places in different areas and see where you're comfortable. Evaluating whether an area is right for you is very personal because it has to provide a lot of things for you, including a commute and being near to things that are near and dear to you, your work, your gym, your school, your grocery store, your family, your parents. These are all options of things that might be important to you, and you need to be in a place where you feel like you can get to all of these things readily. There are also super important factors like what floor plans are involved in certain areas, in certain neighborhoods. Maybe you do need a main floor primary and you cannot budge on that. That's going to put you in certain areas of houses that were built with those, or areas of places where you can put that in there. If you're looking for land, you have to go where the land is, right? They don't make that anymore. So you've got to go where the things that are near and dear to you exist. And if there's one thing you cannot ever do, it is move your home. You can change almost everything about your house, but you cannot pick it up and move it. So take a lot of care and thought about where your home is, because that is something you cannot change. You can change the colors, you can change the carpet, you can expand your home, you can put an addition on, you can add a garage, you can do almost anything to your house, but you can't move it. And that is a big lifestyle impact. If you're moving to Harford County or you want to move to Harford County, talk to me, because I can help open your mind to all of the areas that might interest you depending on the conversation that we have about what's important to you, where you need to be, what things are important to you in your life. Ultimately, the decision is yours to make, but I love to be the go-to for a place that I call home, so that I can share everything that excites me about this place with you. I can share all my favorite restaurants, my favorite parks, my favorite bodies of water, my favorite places to go. I want nothing more but to share all of my favorite things with you and have you make your own personal decision. Thanks for watching. I'm Danielle Waldera, a local realtor here in Harford County, Maryland. If you liked what you heard and saw today, please like, subscribe, comment to my channel, and stay tuned for the next video.